Very good morning to you, and thank you so much for finding time to be with us this morning. The show is Good Morning Africa. My name is Mira Mogoto, and as usual, it is a pleasure to have you on board. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're tuned in. And of course, on the show, we get to bring you the latest news by going through first the newspaper headlines from Kenya and others from across Africa, and then we choose which topics to look at that have been featured in today's papers. We start with the papers from Kenya. That is the Star newspaper, and the main headline of the Star newspaper this morning: how Gachagua, Karua will shape Ruto Raila battle. One is known as a champion of justice and women's rights. The other was Uhuru's PA. He is famous as a powerful grassroots mobilizer. The story is on page 4 and 5. And 12-day window that could reunite Raila and Kalonzo. The story is on page 6. EACC, Sonko should go and finish jail term. The story is on page 2. Very well. The Standard newspaper, the main headline: Kalonzo Night talks, deal that never was. In the run-up to the naming of Raila Odinga's running mate, the Wiper leader had held a series of talks with the former Premier and President Kenyatta. What went wrong? We'll bring you the intrigues and the push and pull. You'll find that on page 6 and 7. Sauti Sol and Azimio in fight over song usage, that is on page 3. Landmark judgment on sexual offences, that is on page 15. New NSE fee hits small investors, that is on page 23. US troops to deploy in Somalia, that is on page 27. And coding syllabus to be rolled out in a month. The computer coding syllabus pilot project to involve 100 public primary and another 50 public secondary schools across the country. The story is on page 15. Okay. The Daily Nation, the main headline: how the game has changed. Ukembani now up for grabs. Western seems undecided, and the gender arithmetic is on the cards as the race to State House hots up. Its battleground zones and ideals are becoming more apparent, and still both the front runners must confront the important issue of voter turnout in their strongholds. That is on page 4 and 5, and they've given a breakdown. The Daily Nation has given a breakdown on the registered voters and how they voted in 2017. And for Raila Kalonzo, then, remember they were a team in NASA, and then the way that these regions voted for Uhuru and Ruto the same year, 2017, and perhaps the numbers, the registered numbers as per now, 2022. Despite backlash, Sauti Sol vowed to take war to Raila. Award-winning music group Sauti Sol said yesterday it will take legal action against Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition party for breach of copyright despite an online backlash over its public spurt with Alliance Raila Odinga's lead vocalist Bien Aime Baraza said Azimio was misusing the hit song Extravaganza in its campaigns in breach of licensing agreement with the Music Copyright Society of Kenya. The Kenya Copyright Board supported the band's petition, but Azimio says its deal with the Copyright Society allows the party to use any music in its campaigns. The story is on page 8. Interesting. And on governance, red flag as Standard 7 dropouts in race to be governors. Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission and the Directorate of Public Prosecutions also insist that politicians fighting cases in court should not be allowed to seek elective positions until cleared. I don't know which is which, because I think at this point Kenyans are even confused. I think there are same institutions that said, right now they will halt going after some of these cases involving these politicians who are running for these elective positions because they don't want to look like that it is a witch hunt. Mind you, some of these cases have lingered for quite a while now, so it really has nothing to do with elections right now. But we'll look at that story and the details of it. Okay, focus on Homa Bay. Former Nairobi Governor Evans Kidero is facing off with the ODM-backed candidate Gladys Wenger in what is shaping up as a two-horse race. Kidero, running as an independent, is out to prove a point in a zone that votes ODM almost to the man. Okay, that is on page 25. AfriCity's gala opens with call for elevation of municipalities. That is on page 2. And President Uhuru Kenyatta yesterday led, actually not the country, but the entire Africa in the opening of the Afri-Cities Gala Summit that took place in Kisumu. So we'll get a bit of that and see what really this means, even for the country that hosted the 9th edition, I believe, of this summit. Okay, so that is what we have in the local papers. Let's take a look of some of the at some regional papers from across Africa, and we start with let me see. We start with the Times. The Times, I think this is from Rwanda, and calls grow to set up scheme for unemployment benefits. That sounds like what Raila is selling right now. And Kagame's strong public utilities key to sustainable energy access. Okay, so you'll find that inside the New Times. From Rwanda, Daily News. This is from there's Daily News from Zimbabwe, and then there's Daily News from Tanzania. Sometimes they can be a bit confusing, but this one is from Zimbabwe. Mixed views on duty-free goods as government battles shortages, high prices of basic commodities, and government unions pine for US dollar salaries. They do not want to be paid using the Zimbabwean currency. They want the salaries to be in, to be paid the US dollars. Okay. The news day is still from Zimbabwe. Polls a security threat. That is according to electoral body in Zimbabwe. And the Daily News from Tanzania, Samia stresses fiscal discipline, and French firms unveil 9.7 trillion investment. 9.7 trillion, I think Tanzanian shillings investment plan for Tanzania. Okay. The Citizen from Tanzania as well, irrigation top priority in 751 billion Tanzania shillings agriculture plan, and study 73% ready for universal healthcare. Everything that we've been trying to do here, Tanzania is on board as well, and is trying to, but like the affordable healthcare or universal healthcare, this is just one of the things. The SDGs, if you've heard about them, the United Nations, it was agreed, and there was a time frame given that countries should try to ensure that some of these things are reality in their countries, and one of them is accessible and universal health coverage. And the Nation from Nigeria, presidential governorship primaries, APC begins the process. And then we go to the Punch, still from Nigeria. CAN, Plateau, Benue churches, adamant insist on Sunday protest. Okay. And the New Vision from Uganda, government explains parish model staff payment. And the Daily Monitor, still from Uganda, MPs make U-turn on Olunya's fund. Okay, I wish I could read the subtitles. Let me see if I could try it a bit. The writings is a bit small. Out of sight, out of heart. The members of parliament who poured out their love for the deceased Speaker Jacob Olunya last month and promised to support the Jacob Olunya's Education Trust Fund have now backtracked and complained over the 1 million Ugandan shillings one-off deduction from their pay. I tell you, if you gave your promise to the dead, you better keep it in line with the African culture. But they promised, I don't know if they did it out of emotions and stuff, and they didn't think it through. And now it's time to give up that money to support that education fund, and they've backed out. 1 million Uganda shillings is really not a lot of money. Somebody could calculate that. I'd like to know how much that is. 1 million Uganda shillings is not much. It's not that much, really. But they're saying, no, we're not going to give that money. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, and the Mirror from the UK. And now it's Wayne versus Jamie. Okay, and Tory MP rape arrest. That is there. And the Guardian, still from the UK. Sunak faces Tory clamour to act now on cost of living. And then the main pictorial there is the Queen opening rail line with her name on it. Okay. And then the Daily Telegraph, Tory MP held on suspicion of rape. And of course, the main pictorial still is that of the Queen. Very frail. She has not been feeling very well. to the point that she could not be able to open this parliament. So her son had to do it. Prince Charles had to do it. So she's not in her best of health. And I think a lot of it has to do with her age. All right, very well. Thank you so much. So you are now up to date with what is happening from within Africa and outside. Thank you so much for your time. So let me just take us through some of the stories that are making headlines, especially here in Kenya. As I mentioned there, President Uhuru Kenyatta led the continent yesterday in the opening of the Afri-City. So let's just, read that through and find out what that is all about. And the story is on page 2 on the Daily Nation. Africa has been advised to empower intermediary cities and municipalities to enhance development at grassroots level to stop them from depending on its national governments. This plea and the need to develop an African blueprint on urban growth dominated speeches during the opening of the 9th edition of the Afri-City Summit in Kisumu yesterday. President Uhuru Kenyatta was at the opening ceremony. Africa was also challenged to set up a dedicated fund to support development of infrastructure. Speaker after speaker underscored the importance of cities, municipalities and local government structures in spurring socio-economic development. But even as the calls for calls to government to support towns develop, some speakers said it could come with the challenge of rural-urban migration. United Cities and Local Government of Africa, UCLGA, Secretary General Jean-Pierre Elong Mbasi challenged African heads to have small cities as key targets of governance and developments. And I think for Kenya, we are on track in doing so. We've seen an increase of cities. Like now we have 4 cities, I believe. Nakuru is the latest. The capital city, of course, is Nairobi. Then we have the coastal city, Mombasa. Then we have the lakeside city, Kisumu. And now we do have, I don't know what to call Nakuru, but it is a city. It is a city and it's the latest city. So we do have 4. And on top of that, we do have towns that are equally as vibrant in terms of business and opportunities and all that, compared to these other main cities we do have. And for us, I think this call fits very well within our governance structure. We know that in Kenya we have counties now. So, and that was meant to solve some of these problems that I see here being mentioned that I think cuts across, all countries in Africa. The issue of rural-urban migration that has led to the spur of a lot of slums and insecurities and joblessness and all that in the main cities across Africa. And so for us, we have devolution, and devolution was supposed to solve some of this problem. After the introduction of a 2010 constitution, promulgation of a new constitution, Kenyans voted for devolution. And so that was supposed to create these other opportunities in 47 counties across the country. And that was meant to reduce the rural-urban migration that was supposed to, increase the creation of jobs within those other towns in the counties, and that was supposed to take the services closer to the people, because as we know, we had all the services and all the powers and all the running of everything in the central government here in Nairobi, and then we did have a bit of some offices spread across. That time we had like 8 provinces, so you'll find that the headquarters of a province is a place where if somebody, and maybe that province is very vast, take the Rift Valley province, the headquarters was in Nakuru, but somebody is coming from interiors, because it's a vast it was a vast province then, to come and get services, especially government services there. So that was a bit, was a bit too much. So devolution came to cure a lot of these things, and especially to take services to the people. and to just create vibrant other small economies in our villages that will discourage the movement of a lot of young people from the villages to the urban areas, and also would strengthen things like agriculture, the cottage industries, the small industries, and things like that, while we're still struggling to achieve that, because that has not worked very well for us, because what we've managed to devolve a lot is corruption and mismanagement of public funds. And we've seen a lot of these governors, they have cases in court because a lot of them have mismanaged the public funds in the counties. And when you look at the audit reports that comes from the county, a huge chunk of the money goes to paying wages and buying food and snacks for entertainment of guests who visit, I think, the county offices, and very few, just a small fraction of that money is focused towards development activities. And a few counties have done, a bit well, but you'll see major, developmental activities are attached to the national government. The national government is still the one that does a lot of roads and other institutions. So as much as we do have a good model that I think reflects some of these issues that were brought up yesterday on the AfriCities Summit, we have a framework that could help in solving some of these problems, that puts us in a better position to address some of these things. But I think what we need are leaders who are able to actually focus on service delivery to the people, are leaders. I think that even having politicians as head of these counties perhaps was not the best of idea, because we do have the governors, they're politicians, and they've not done very well. They have not done very well in terms of managing this county. So it is a crisis, and something that we're still, working to see how can devolution best serve the people of Kenya as it was meant, and what can we improve on. But, this is interesting. So what they were saying yesterday is, of course, to support the importance of cities, municipalities, and local government structures. Like I've told you, we already have that in terms of devolution, and we do have 47 counties. So, we've devolved a lot of services. So we are through that. All these 47 counties, of course, they do have their headquarters, and they will be strengthened, to ensure that you have strong, counties and headquarters spread around, where people are able to, we can build small economies, we can, encourage other economic activities outside of just young people, not just young people, even the other people who are not very young, trying to find their way into the capital city and other cities to try to find work or opportunities. So if we can strengthen this, and I think this was the essence of what was being spoken about yesterday, if we can strengthen the municipalities and the local government structures, that is the heartbeat of economic growth for a country. So if we can get it right, and when you look at President Uhuru Kenyatta's agenda, of course, they talked about improvement of infrastructure. I think Kenya, we're in a very good path as far as that is concerned. If you came into this, capital city today, it is a construction zone. The roads are being constructed, and things are going well. And we've seen what change that has brought as far as moving of goods and services and people is concerned. It has really improved the economic strata in the country, and not just here in Nairobi, but even major cities and towns like Mombasa, Kisumu, Nakuru, and these other towns spread across the country. The improvement of infrastructure in this country has revived the economic activities of this country. It has made movement very easy for people. So that is a good thing. And now this AfriCities is encouraging the rest of African countries to try and embrace that, build, support municipalities, and invest in infrastructure. So I think, in Kenya, we have so much to complain about. But when you look at things like this that are being brought up in this conversation, we are on a better path in ensuring that, we are able to accomplish this, because we are actually implementing some of these things. So we are in a better track. Doc, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much, viewers. First of all, I will pick from where Miriam has stopped about the conference for African cities that's taking place in Kisumu. I think on this one, President Kenyatta has scored in a lot that even the guests, the visitors themselves, before they leave this country, they should better go and see towns like Mombasa, Nairobi, Nakuru, as Miriam mentioned. You will find that these towns have changed, and not only towns, but the middle, the inland towns, cities. No, not inland cities, but inland towns. The ones that are coming up to become cities, they are coming up. I saw the picture of Kirinyaga yesterday. You could see there are some buildings that are coming up that you never saw those days. So basically, Uhuru Kenyatta on the question of infrastructure development, he has scored. And I wish anybody who has not been to Nairobi for many years comes to Nairobi at the moment, Miriam, will tell you that what is going on in Nairobi. It is a different town altogether. And that is it. That's the legacy of President Uhuru Kenyatta cannot be doubted. I was telling one of the people in one of the viewers in another African program, TV, I said, with the legacy, Uhuru Kenyatta has run away with it. He's done it, it can be seen. Therefore, it cannot be left to people to dismantle it. However, we have to dismantle politics. We have to make better country, a better nation. As much as we are having the politics of brokerage, brokers, Miriam, our city will remain as clean as it is with so many brokers and fraudulent men like a Kalonzo, coming up with, he has already filed some documents somewhere. Then he comes to sit with you in a house. These are the same people who ate with Judas, ate with Jesus, and Jesus was aware that someone was going to undermine you. Then why did Kalonzo? Now, later on, when it emerges that yesterday I said, show your papers, he went and said they took their papers there. So it moved from there. You know what the latest thing that he has just said now? He wants the agreement, the post of the Prime Minister to be anchored in the coalition agreement of Azimio. He wants it to be anchored and he comes back. He will rejoin on condition. He told us he had gone to court. He didn't go to court. There are no papers in the court. Honestly, there is no paper in the court. Because he knew that it was a dead end, Miriam, I told you yesterday. So these are some of the people we have. As much as we create good cities, we are making a good city, we must make good politics and have good direction of governance that will keep those cities as they are, as we left them. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and now that you've introduced politics, let's just get into it. And that story of Kalonzo is on the Standard newspaper on page 7. Let's just bring our viewers up to date. When Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka announced that he was going to contest the presidency after he missed the running mate slot in Azimio, some observers doubted him. Many thought he was time-barred because the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission's IEBC April 28th deadline for submission of candidates' name had expired. Yesterday, it emerged that Wiper had submitted Mr. Kalonzo Musyoka's name as its presidential flag bearer to IEBC much earlier. Wiper officials told the Standard that the move was made long before the party joined Azimio and was perhaps Mr. Musyoka's way of buying some insurance in the event that he was not named Raila Odinga's running mate. We submitted the name before the deadline as per the law, Wiper Secretary General Shakila Abdallah said, adding that the only IEBC could raise concern if the party had not done so in good time. So IEBC did not respond to our inquiries on whether Wiper had submitted Mr. Musyoka's name as its presidential flag bearer by April 28th. So apparently he had done that, but now they're saying that he submitted his name before the deadline. I don't know how true that is, but all this time he's been jostling for position and, you know, trying to pressurize the Azimio One Kenya Alliance coalition into, you know, giving him the running mate slot. He knew well and good that he had already submitted his name, and I'm sure maybe he did not, you know, tell his partners that. So he's been accusing Raila and other partners of, you know, being dishonest. But this is being dishonest in the same way he is accusing the others of being.
Miriam, not only that, there is something that has forced Kalonzo to come back, because the way ahead is blocked. No IEBC official can clear you when you are on two parties.
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah, why did they clear him and still he joined the Azimio coalition?
If they didn't clear him, there is nobody who has been cleared. They didn't. You see, all this is Ruto working. Ruto is working behind the scenes. Maybe I'm getting it very clear. Ruto wants to disorganize Azimio because he has now found out that the lies that he told the Kenyans cannot work. They cannot work anymore. The lies have gone, have evaporated. And with the interest of Mother Karua in the race, Ruto's chances with 51% of people in Kenya being women and 54% being registered voters. Miriam, I was telling you I'll get the data. Look at it. 54 registered voters, not these crowds that they hire to come to Gatundu to embarrass Uhuru Kenyatta. Their mission is to embarrass Uhuru Kenyatta. We know it. But time will come when we shall embarrass them more. Ruto will be embarrassed. This coming months, Ruto will have a shocker, a tsunami that will show him that he is not worth salt. So, Miriam, this is all Ruto working. Remember, I told you that Ruto had devised a method. He had Mudavadi, Wetangula, and Kalonzo on the radar. The three guys had sworn in their oka that they will never support Raila Amolo Odinga. That was, they had taken an oath, and they even cut a goat somewhere in Seikuru or Mululu home, one of those homes. This is now evidence coming up that they will never support Raila Amolo Odinga again. Unfortunately, there came a merchant, a thief, a man who was grabbed and stolen a lot of money of Kenyan and who claims he worked hard. He worked hard where? Where did he work hard? What history has Ruto worked hard? In a factory? Sweeping a road? Sweeping a train in London? Or where? If he went to study in London and you started sweeping toilets of Bazungu, we can know you worked hard. But Ruto came from the university to steal. He started stealing directly. So this question of telling us that Ruto worked hard where? He started stealing. That's why most of his friends, either he kills them, he bumps them off. If they go too deep, they bump you off. If you do a deal with him, so many people are very disappointed. Ruto has backstabbed them on their deals and threatens you through his personal assistant, Farouk Quebec. Said they will come for you. They have a mafia style that assassinates people. We have to be very careful about this. They go on bumping people's eyes out, throwing them in Miami. You know, Miriam, Time has come for people to talk. If you are going to talk ill about people who have Raila has never plotted to kill people, despite the fact that he has lost elections here. But this is a group you are going to elect and give them the powers of instruments of power with machine guns and the police at their disposal. They are going to make you younger people like Miriam, some of you who grew up in Moi's era were drinking his milk, but saw what was happening to Martin Sikuku, Orengo, Raila, and others. I think you are going to witness it this time. That's point number one. Coming after creating that team, Miriam, he diverted and brought in, you know who? He now said, Kalonzo. Let Kalonzo remain there to destabilize Raila Amolo Odinga. Kalonzo has been hoping. He has two people, Wambua and the other stupid boy, lawyer of my son. The lawyer who has become foolish of late. The lawyer friend, Kalonzo. Is it Kalonzo? Mutua Kalonzo. He was a bright guy. His father cannot flip like that. His father was a straightforward man. The father could say, I don't like you, I remember the father one day telling me off in London Friars when I brought this Bazungu from New California to stand for the EACC cases. He said, you are a very bad man in Africa. How do you defend criminals like Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto? That is the father, the late father, in front of Amina Mohammed, who was the PS of Constitutional Affairs in London. In my face, he didn't go out to whisper. So I don't know where Mutula Kalonzo got a behavior of going at night to talk to Ruto, and then daytime they condemn Ruto. Wambua goes. These are the front runners who are going to Ruto's place. Danny Mahanzo, who is a lawyer but doesn't look like he's a lawyer. When you look at the way he dresses, he doesn't look like a good lawyer. You can judge from the brain of the dress and know that the person knows how to choose whether he's a lawyer or not. But that is a law. In law, you are told to be smart, Miriam. You can't represent your client when you are shabby, because judges don't like that. Some courts tell you to go home unaware. That's why lawyers, and I want to qualify my statement in case you think I'm telling you something strange. You have never explained why lawyers wear gowns down here. You know why? It's to cover whatever shirt you are on. You have to wear that gown. Judges, I've researched on it, and they will find why they wear the gowns. Because they didn't know, they don't want to know what you have under. So when Danny Mahanzo goes to TV and says things that we are going to court to void, to null and avoid the Azimio, surely Azimio has millions of supporters. Try it. Try it and you see, yes.
Yeah, and on this story on the Standard newspaper, there's a person with a very interesting perspective on what's going on and matters concerning, Kalonzo. Professor Gitile Naituli, a lecturer at the United States International University, which is said Kalonzo may force a runoff in Mount Kenya if Mount Kenya does not swing decisively towards Raila Martha Karua ticket. He wants to force a runoff so that he can be taken seriously, but he is the author of his own misery since he declared quite early that he was not ready to work with Kenya Kwanza, Professor Naituli said. So just to underscore, that perhaps the reason why Kalonzo wants to do this, and could be because he wants to force a runoff, but the reasons this professor is giving why Kalonzo wants to face a runoff is what I find to be interesting, so that he can be taken seriously. At this point, with the flip-flopping, Doc, has Kalonzo severely damaged his credibility?
Professor Naitiri is a sycophant because he also calls me a sycophant of Uhuru Kenyatta. He's also a sycophant of J.B. Muturi. He's the one who brought J.B. Muturi, and he's an extremist of secessionism. He wants to east the Meru people. You know, we have ever debated until it became a square on KTN News. He was a chairman of one of the members of the National Cohesion Team. And he's bitter because he applied for the post to be included as a member of the IEBC. And that he was not cleared by the DCI and the EACC. So he is very bitter. He is right on this one this time, that Kalonzo wants to force a runoff. Then he can. It links with my report that I've given you, Miriam, already. That they had planned that while these two have gone that side, you know, the people who shouted the most when Kalonzo was trying to disorganize Azimio are from UDA, from Ruto's party, where Tankula Mudavad, they were writing saying you are being punished so much, leave and come. Because they had wanted to score their mark.
But already, from this professor, what he's saying is Kalonzo already, declared very earlier on that he will not be willing to work with Kenya Kwanza. Of course, he declared the same on Raila, but sort of he has a soft spot. I don't know, or he was coerced, but he later came and joined. But for Kenya Kwanza, I think he made that clear earlier. And he's always I think he has a habit of, putting the cart in front of the horse. That has not worked for him very well. So in this regard, the prof is saying that he wants to force a runoff to be taken seriously. But my question was, at this point, with the flip-flopping and the lack of consistency that Kalonzo has exhibited, has he damaged his credibility? And should even he force a runoff, will he even garner enough votes at this point to even force a runoff?
No, Kalonzo must be dismantled. We are going to dismantle Kalonzo. We have been so patient. We have been making a monster ourselves as Jubilee Party. We have been entertaining this stupid guy every time in the State House. We have to come out and say what we don't want. He is out to make sure that he goes to court. Surely he goes to court to accuse Raila Odinga, to make Raila Odinga's organization not to be on the ballot. And we still entertain him and say, call him. Kenyatta has helped this man so many times, both materially, financially, and as a person, not as a president. Why is he not seeing who are his friends? Therefore, time has come for people, some of us who are very good friends. I took Kalonzo at high esteem, myself personally. At first I thought, yes, there would be some sense of a man who can see, but he has become, I don't want to use the other word, which I always use. Kalonzo is becoming like a Ruto. As if there is something that is making him talk the way they talk. Kalonzo is soon going to talk like a Moses Kuria. There's something pushing them to talk the way they talk. And I don't want to go that route on Stephen. It's time for Stephen to see the light and come back. If he has come back and say, I am now coming back to rejoin Azimio, let him not come with conditions. Let him come on the bandwagon and we start campaigning. This thing of having conferences, meetings that, oh, Karen home, because you have homes in Karen. You have stolen money and built homes in Karen. Some of the people don't have homes in Karen. Kenyans don't have homes in Karen. People have stolen. If you put a roadblock on Langata Road and ask everybody who claims to have a house in Karen, I swear God is watching me and I don't speak lies. Some of them cannot explain how they built that house in Karen. Yes, that I used my salary in Kenya to build a house in Karen. To Achane is telling me that Gideon Moy is following the Karen God in the rabbi. I don't know. And let Gideon Moy also now wake up. Kanu is in Azimio. Let's not have two legs. We are destabilizing a campaign of Raila Amolo Odinga. And they are covering up. We people who are in the public relations exercise, like the media here of Punchline, Matanga is always associated. I take 10,000 insults every day. Every day, Miriam, I take 10,000 insults. Because I'm defending Uhuru Kenyatta. I'm defending the president. I'm defending the legacy. I can't write a word on my own media. Miriam, I can't write. Even some people, when I'm writing from London, they think I'm writing from Nairobi, as if internet is only in Nairobi. Hala. I wake up at 4 o'clock to defend. Kalonzo cannot disorganize us. Kalonzo, time is now to dismantle Kalonzo. He either keeps quiet, packs his ships, goes away, or comes back in. Yeah. If Kenyans, you people who are keeping quiet, you are spoiling Raila's chances of winning an election. Let me speak. Because what will you do to me? Nothing. I have no terms of reference. Yes. What terms of reference do I have? Kalonzo better shuts up, goes and do what is supposed to be done, or comes back. Enough is enough. Media, lips, read my lips. We are fed up now. Hata kama bibi tumamupembelesha sana. There is a time when you reach a point when you seduce a lady, and the lady keeps on telling you and telling you have not yet reached my standard. There are ladies who even tell you, but you, David Matanga, you haven't reached my standard. Yeah, some of them tell you. They even give you signals. If you change, they give you condition. If you change, then I can consider. Even when you have given a holiday in the sessions, you say, no, you haven't done well. We have given Kalonzo a holiday in the sessions. Our sessions is Azimio.
Mm-hmm. And on that package,
yeah.
In that holiday, there are some of the issues.
And I want, Miriam, before you speak, I want this to be recorded. Let it be taken seriously. That I'm going to do a take before, because time is running. We recorded this. We have given Kalonzo a holiday in sessions, which is Azimio. Time has come, especially that one only. Time has come for us, for Azimio, for Raila Odinga, for Uhuru Kenyatta, Jubilee Party, ODM and other parties to tell Kalonzo, don't disturb us, do your campaign, let's meet on the ballot. Or come back, go with us, we do together, we fight the common enemy of corruption. That clip must come out today. Kalonzo, we are fed up with your behavior. Everybody is fed up. I am a friend of Kalonzo, but I'm fed up with the behavior. I thought Kalonzo was a dignified diplomat who could understand the dynamics of politics of Kenya. But he has let us down. So let the door shut. Let him do what he wants to do. Please Ruto at night and please Uhuru Kenyatta during the daytime. Yeah, that's what he's doing. At the expense of Azimio losing its job. Yes, we are now killing the Kamba vote, surely. We are killing the Kamba vote. So let's go back also in Kamba, let's plant ourselves there. Let's start to pick the few votes that we can pick in Kambani. If Kalonzo does not come, shut the door.
Okay. And there's still 12 days to go. Maybe things could change between now and the end of this month. And Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka could be faced with legal hurdles in his bid to fly the party's flag in the August 9th elections. For starters, time may not be on his side, as his party, Wiper Democratic Movement, will have to quit the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition to be in a position to field a candidate for the election. Snippets of the highly guarded agreement show that a political party is required to issue a 90-day notice to divorce. So we've all talked about that. That is part of the things they signed to. But, you know, Wiper has kept saying that they did not read through the agreement before they signed. But I will digress from that. With the registration deadline slated for June 6th, and with Raila having named a running mate, his chances of being on the ballot are said to be getting slimmer. Registrar of Political Parties Anne Ruto painted a picture of the hurdles Kalonzo will face in his new exploits. But, you know, there is until... like I said, the end of May, when you know, IEBC will be, I think, publishing the names of the presidential candidates. So there's still a window there for negotiations between Kalonzo and Azimio, One Kenya coalition. But you talked about you know, Seychelles, and in this regard, let's just see some of the deals that Kalonzo actually negotiated in terms of what, you know, even his region will get, and see what is at stake right now. His departure jeopardizes a mouth-watering deal that he had squeezed out of the coalition to have the Kamba community get the chief minister position. So he agreed to that. He knew there was a possibility he would get that position. And 20% of the cabinet appointments and another 20% of other government appointments. And I'm reading through this list on the Standard newspaper on some of the development projects that you know, they had negotiated as a region that will be considered, and one of them is the construction of 1,500 kilometers of main roads and 500 kilometers of feeder roads, a water pipeline from Masinga Dam to serve Yatta, Masinga and Mwala, expansion of Mombasa Road into a dual carriageway be extended to Konza Technopolis, roads from Chumbi to Machakos Town and Ruai to Tala Town be expanded to dual carriageway, 1 billion Kenya shillings for coffee sector to cover Machakos, Kathiani, Kangundo and Matungulu, new national cereals and produce board silos in Yatta, repair and extension of Yatta Canal, completion of Leather City in Kananie, construction of Level 6 referral hospital in Mavoko, construction of 4 markets in Machakos Town, Matu, Tala and Athi River, upgrade of Machakos Stadium, new NPS training camp in Yatta, among other deals that were actually, I'm sure, should Raila be elected, because he still has support of some key Kamba leaders. So I'm sure, you know, these projects, if that government lives to its words, they will be implemented. But these are some of the things that they were able to negotiate on behalf of the people of Ukambani. So what is bigger? Him feeling like he was undermined and he was not given the position he wanted, although that position was captured as some of the things that he knew probably he would be given that position. You know, and the second in command position since the conversation started, you know, and Jubilee and ODM began working together. We knew very well that will come from Mount Kenya. I think that was an open secret. So I don't know, Kalonzo, but these are some of the things that the Kamba region stands to benefit, and those are the things that they negotiated as the leaders from that region. So is that not worth something?
Miriam, I just want to tell you that those are indeed very serious incentives that they have been given. And I don't know why Kalonzo is panicking. And that's why I liked what what the governor of Kitui said, that they met yesterday, they were meeting yesterday, the Kamba professionals, all of them, they were meeting yesterday to say the post of prime ministership must be given to Kamba. If Kalonzo does not want it, let it be given to another Kamba person. Let Kalonzo go where he wants. Because Kalonzo also, it is also very wrong for people to be in the pockets of one person, surely. That my Kamba people, are you the one who produced them? Have we looked at that also? So let's go down on the ground. Is it Kalonzo who produced them? Are there no other Kamba people who are educated? Is Kalonzo, has he voted? What has Kalonzo brought in Kamba? Let's go for him. Let's dismantle Kalonzo now. Even the road going to his house has potholes bigger than the crater on Mount Meru. Hey! We have been keeping this guy thinking he's very good because he combs his hair and leaves us smiling. But let's now go for him. Let him feel the heat on these television stations everywhere, in the social media. We are going to go for you, Kalonzo. Unatuharibia muda kabisa. That's all what I'm telling you.
Okay. So leadership from Mukambani met, I think, on Monday, and the speaking Kalonzo they met yesterday, and there's something they said that I want to share. Speaking in Machakos town, Ngilu, Governor Kivutha Kibwana of Makueni Machakos governorship aspirant and former State House Chief of Staff Nzioka Waita, among others, said Kalonzo should sacrifice for the sake of the community. It is a pity for the Kamba community to be out of the next government just because of an individual's interest. So they're saying whatever it is that Kalonzo, is asking for has really nothing to do with the benefit of the people, but has everything to do with his own individual interest. And I think I was reading another paper where Kalonzo felt like he was being undermined. He felt degraded when he had to appear in front of that interview, and then on top of that, he has to be the one to sacrifice, that position to Martha Karua. So he did not like that. He felt he was being degraded to some sorts. But the leaders, they are saying, hey, for the sake of the community, we need for you to take that position so that our community is represented. But we do have also people like Kivutha Kibwana. He could make a good candidate to that position if Kalonzo will not be interested at all. You're muted.
The type of sacrifice that Professor Kibwana has made for Kenya is better than that record of Kalonzo Musyoka. Kalonzo Musyoka is an opportunist who was eating. It's like a tick that eats on people, but the cow still continues moving. And a cow kwa tick, parasite. No. Kalonzo, he pretends that he's very good Christian. What? But he has a bad behavior. Even Christians make judgment. Why is it that Kalonzo every day is talking of, I did not know, I did not see this. Miriam, have you not seen that everything of Kalonzo is saying, I was not aware of this, there is an MOU. Why does Kalonzo make MOUs at night? So Kamba people should start reasoning that these MOUs for him or not.
Okay.
Are these MOUs for him or not? Are they for him? Time has come also Kambas to reason. If the Kamba people don't reason, are these MOUs? Kalonzo went and made an MOU with Wanjigi. How much did he give Kamba people? To dismantle. William, sikia my lips. We are dismantling Kalonzo. We have enough evidence also to make Kalonzo not to think that he's a saint in Kenyan politics. Yes, yes, on record, even in videos, he went at Wanjigi's home. He went at Wanjigi. He has met Wanjigi of late. He thinks that we don't know. He picked money from Wanjigi, those days of NASA. How much did he give to Kamba people? No, you tell me, how much? And the people in Kamba are saying, we love Kalonzo. If Kalonzo is not there, no Raila. Did he bring that money to Kamba people? At least, Mutua Alfred steals, brings ambulances, then disappears them back to the selling showroom. At least he showed.
That is not at least. That is worse.
No, but at least
that's right, because now when the residents would be looking to use the, to get the ambulances, it's not there. So which one is worse? It's all terrible.
I am
all
saying,
bad.
I'm using the word at least because I believe that at least the people in the Machakos can see with their eyes, but they can't sit in the ambulance because it's not there.
Okay.
That's what my brothers from all Ukambani, very few people there are trusted. Very few, especially professionals. You find Kibwana, Kingiru, those are trusted people. Dr. Karui, when he tells you, even if he does, he's not liked. And in fact, if you are trusted in Ukambani, you are hated. Did you know that? In Ukambani, when you are trusted, if you tell the truth, you are hated. Look at the way they hate Ngiru. Look at the way they hate Kibwana.
No, Kibwana is really loved. If he was to run again, he would.
No, they do.
Because of his performance.
The group that steals. You remember the group that steals that was coming to Makueni County to impeach the governor. Then Kibwana said, you want to impeach me? I want the thing to be dissolved. You saw that group that was growing up in
because he had confidence that the people
those are the people who don't want to be told the truth. And that is the Kalonzo clique. In fact, it was Kalonzo pushing people to impeach Kibwana. So if you look like a Kalonzo in Ukambani, you are loved. I think Jeff can tell you something. He's there. He's in the studios. He will tell you something. You are loved. But if you tell the truth, you are hated. Like Ngiru tells the truth. Oh, they say this woman, he has brought their employment, at least people are sewing aprons, shirts, so many things are being manufactured there.
Yeah, Ngilu and Kibwana have really transformed at least they look like they're doing something to transform they've been doing tangible things.
Now Kalonzo goes to field a thief called Malombe, Dr. Malombe, Muizi. Ndio wanataka aingie huko. Alitolewa because he had a problem with the money. You know how many times this year looked for him with a helicopter. When if you are hated, that is what Kalonzo has been standing on the Ukambani people for a long time because he tells lies, flippy lies. He goes to Jimmy Wanjiki, they went there with Raila. Can they disclose how much money they got? Did Kalonzo give that money to the Ukamba people? How many people in Ukambani got the money? When we saw the agreement of Mr. Wanjiki displaying it to us, how much money he lost? Can Kalonzo say he gave that money to some children in Ukambani? How much did he give? I'm not the one. We have been building a monster We have been building a monster amongst us. And we give him respect because we think he's a Christian man always touching the chin here when he's going to make mistakes. The statements that Kalonzo made against Uhuru Kenyatta, I swear that some of the statements were not very good. But we kept quiet. We in Jubilee said, okay, fine. This, if the boss is dealing with him, it's okay. But the statements he made, you would think that he has never been helped by Uhuru Kenyatta. They are the same sentiments, like the sentiments that Ruto is making in Gatundu yesterday. Ruto. If Raila, if His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta's family did not pay legal fees for that Ruto, he had no money to pay, despite the fact that he was a thief who had stolen more money. He took all his money to Uganda and opened up companies in Uganda. Ugandans have benefited, not Kenyans. And now he's asking the vote for Kenyans. Hello?
Okay. So, Doc, as we conclude, maybe a bit of just one African news, I think just an update, a conversation we had the other day about Somalia. And our President, Joe Biden, signed an order on Monday to redeploy hundreds of U.S. troops to Somalia to counter.
Miriam, we have that conversation in diplomatic leaks.
Yes. So he has signed an order to redeploy back the U.S. troops back to help the fight.
We are going to have it at 11. Diplomatic leaks.
Okay.
Yes. 11 o'clock at the diplomatic leaks. Why are the Americans coming back to Somalia?
But we complained when they were leaving. Now they're back, we're going to complain.
No, I am not. No. They are coming back because, this one is a positive note.
Okay.
They are coming back, Miriam, because they have got a new leadership.
Yes.
They had found out that the Farimajo was corrupt to the core like a Ruto. So they left.
Okay, so we'll see you then. But in the meantime, we're giving way to...
But one point that we need to finish here is the issue of daily monitor, your basic country.
Which one?
The daily monitor, the best, how MPs make a U-turn on Olanya.
Yeah. I read that earlier. The education fund. How much is 1 million Ugandan compared to Kenya? How much will that translate to? 1 million Ugandan shillings to Kenyan shillings or US dollar. How much is that?
That's 35,000.
Only?
Yes.
Okay. We'll see you at 11. In the meantime, we're giving way to another show from CAS. Doc will be
35,000 shillings. You can't say only. It is a lot to the MPs. You know why MPs are turning back? Is because they have found out that Museveni has asked for more money of 600 billion of Uganda currency for his budget. And the MPs are saying now, if he's taking all that, why can't he just get 1 billion and give it to Olanya? You know, for me and you, I don't discuss Uganda politics because I have an interest. I always leave this politics to you. And I want you to dig into that and see. Only that when you find the difficulties of exchange rate, like now, I would tell you that is 35,000 of Kenya money. Only.
Kenya shillings. Okay, well,
why are you using
because I felt like this, because they were saying, I read that news here, they were saying that's a huge lump sum. They can't afford to give it at once because they were required to give it at once. So I thought, okay, it must be a lot of money.
It was not
shillings.
No, it was not 1 million.
That's what I read from the new
I think it was 5 million shillings.
5 million?
5 million per MP, which is equivalent to about 300, almost 300,000.
Okay, it was in one of these papers, Doc. I read it earlier and I thought, okay, 1 million Ugandan shillings. How much? MPs make a U-turn. Okay. Proposed support to Lunya's fund. It was 1 million Ugandan shillings, one-off deduction from their pay. So you can't deduct that 5,000 one-off. That's not a lot of money. Pay up.
Yeah, the point I want to make is that when you are alive,
yes.
spare some money for your relatives.
Yeah,
when
it's
you are
important.
I told you spare some money for some relatives.
For your children, for your family.
Yeah. When you are alive, spare some money for your relatives.
But if you make a promise in the name of
for your children,
dead,
no, that is medium. That's why I'm saying spare money for your children.
Yes.
When you are alive.
Yes.
Thank you very much, viewers across the continent of Africa. Don't give money to everybody. They will look at the way they are punishing.
But if you make a promise in the name of the dead in the African culture, you have to honor it. Come on, but Ugandan members of parliament.
You think Ruto can own? When you have a mind of Ruto, can you own money? Well, can you own your promise?
He went there and started a leadership academy.
When Ruto, Miriam,
yes.
Please, when I sat down with Ruto in Sheraton Hotel in The Hague, with the wife who claims to be a pastor, seated on the table with me in front of the lawyer of Ruto, I said I've sacrificed for EACC. During that time, Ruto opened his white teeth and I laughed. We had lunch, 6 hours. I explained to Ruto that these cases are over. I lost my international credibility. I lost my job in Sky News. Does Ruto remember? That's why I'm telling you.
But Ruto is not dead. Olanyi is dead.
No, if even started here, tumalizane kwa here, dunia, hapa. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for watching. Don't go too far. We're giving
we are going to cast TV direct to our sister company. Doc is going to
cast TV, and we will be bringing that live, and I will be back here at 11, so see you then. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Good Morning Africa.
God bless.
Good morning. Good morning.